Yeah, so
Yeah.
So despite like all the MBTI stuff that we talked about, let's move on to something quite different. So, what is your favorite music genre?
Well, generally, I go through I've been going through multiple phases over the past decade, but over the past year or so, I've been really into heavy metal, but probably not the heavy metal that you think. I mostly tend to gravitate towards the Scandinavian and Slavic metal scenes, and it's European extreme metal that wins the lottery above all forms of heavy metal. If you're curious to know, some of my current favorite bands are Behemoth, Meshuggah, and Opeth, and Therion. If I had to pick a favorite selection of subgenres within the heavy metal scene, it would be folk, symphonic, dance, doom, black, and death metal about equally, or perhaps even a fusion of most or all of these subgenres in one tight, neat little package. If anything, I consider myself to be a hardcore yet a typical metalhead since 2016, and so for about a year now, or even a little over a year. Also, I prefer to hear music in about any foreign language, or most foreign languages, rather than my native language most of the time, unless in English, the band uses really big and abstract language. But other than that, I can at times be quite a sucker for indie pop, classical, electronica, and ambient music as well.
That's cool. As for me, right now I'm digging R&B and soul, but over the years I grew up listening to pop like Britney Spears. I listened to Celine Dion. Celine Dion was my favorite growing up. I did listen to a little bit of Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, Bee Gees, ABBA. ABBA's great. I grew up listening
ABBA.
to ABBA's amazing. And
they never get old.
Yeah, they never get old. Yeah, I love
true classic.
I love singing the karaoke songs, and for me, when it came to eventually to middle school, I was into alternative rock, alternative pop. So Paramore, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy. So that was middle school, high school, and now for me, I love R&B and soul. I love listening to Kehlani. Kehlani is an amazing artist, so check it out. She's also a part of the LGBTQ community, so she's great. Her is a great artist. I also love listening to Halsey, Lindsey Sterling. Ed Sheeran is great. I can go on and on, but those are the ones that I can think of on top of my head right now.
In fact, I actually used to go through a fairly brief R&B, hip-hop, and pop phase in my late elementary school years up until early junior high school years. But then starting my junior high school years, I went through a big ABBA phase at the time, but then I started getting to really obscure genres of music that most people in the mainstream at least wouldn't really know or bother to figure out. But okay, so Lee, moving on, how do you see yourself leaving a legacy behind or wanting to change the world in your own eyes?
Yeah, that is a loaded question. I think anyone who gets asked by that question, it takes a lot of time to think about. For me, when it comes to leaving a legacy, I want people to know that I did my best to make a change or make a positive impact. For me, I've been involved with the disability rights movement for over 3 years now, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And although we have great legislation that protects disabled people, there's still a lot of discrimination and stigma. I am extremely grateful because for me, I am autistic and I wouldn't be able to get the same opportunities as everyone else, such as going to school, having a job, and some people take that for granted.
Sorry.
And it's okay, it's all good. And I think for me, as far as a legacy goes, I want to be able to make my own contribution within the disability rights movement. And I do respect all the disability rights leaders that we've had over the years, and I want to be able to look back from them, learn from them, and then see what can I do now to make a contribution. Because as a the disability community is all usually for the most part cohesive, and also just a lot of people, but extremely diverse. And I think it's important that we contribute our own perspectives, and I would love to be able to contribute to my own, like have my own perspective, like contribute and also make an impact somehow.
Well, thinking about this, I've probably changed my mind about multiple times on this stance, but from a very goal-oriented perspective, I definitely hope to see my current YouTube channel grow exponentially, hopefully by the end of the year of 2018, so exactly 1 year from now. So I say keep it as a record. But it's not that I wish to seek fame and fortune in order to enjoy having my voice be heard by many, but I would much rather have an underground cult following than 300 plus K subscribers and viewers. However, I'm still very much in the process and progress of figuring out how to build my legacy from the bottom ground up. So, Lee, do you have any last words that you would like to address to the audience?
Yeah, of course. I think as far as MBTI goes, everyone who has an MBTI will be different. So if you meet an INFJ, yes, we're gonna have similarities, but of course they come from a different background than me, because we all come from different backgrounds. I think it's important that each person has their own spiel. They have their own unique person, even though they have the MBTI. You probably met a few INTPs, even though you all have similarities. Nevertheless, your experiences of growing up is a little bit different, but nevertheless you do have that bond together, like having that similarity, which is cool. And I think overall, just remembering that each person who has an MBTI is different.
Yeah. Well, this concludes our INFJ video interaction with the lovely Lee. Or Leopold. Yeah, I like calling her Leopold as a nickname. But everyone, thank you for watching my channel. Watching my video. And if you enjoy it, if you enjoy our interaction as well as my other videos, please don't forget to comment on and like my video, and also remember to subscribe to my channel. And finally, dziękuję bardzo and kocham się. Paka paka.
Bye everyone. Happy New Year.
Buenas noches.